Well, hi, I'm here with Keith Potger, who is, of course, from The Seekers, and one of Australia's great songwriters that has penned some of my favourite songs and has been involved in some of my favourite songs.
Good.
And so it's wonderful to speak to you, and just asking from songwriting point of view, when did you start?
Well, yeah, I started a fairly long time ago, but not as long ago as I should have, actually. But we, as The Seekers, had Tom Springfield as our main songwriter and record producer in England. And he was so brilliant that I think that all of us felt a little bit in awe of him.
Yeah.
But Bruce Woodley started writing songs pretty quickly after we got to England, and Judith started after that. And then it took me a while to get cranked up. But we recorded an album called Future Road in Australia with Charles Fisher producing.
Charles,
and the lovely Charles. And it was at that time that I really started to get into songwriting, and so 4 of my songs are on that CD, and one of them will be one that I'll be performing tonight.
Yeah, and so after many years of performing and writing, you're still excited about music and writing?
Yeah, still very excited. Yeah, it's good. It's great to be in front of people, get the reaction, and it's I love being in the studio as well, but being in the studio is really just a kind of conduit to performing and actually being in front of people, like for an event like tonight, for instance.
Exactly. Oh well, and so the songs that you're writing now, do you think they have more depth than what you did back then, or have you grown as a songwriter, do you feel? Or?
Well, I feel that I've grown as a songwriter. My songs are more diverse now, and there's some humorous songs that I do in my act, which give the audience a bit of a giggle, and there are a few serious ones. Again, one of the songs I'll be doing tonight I wrote as in the wake of Judith Durham's death last year.
Yeah.
And so that was an inspiration, whatever you like to call it. And as far as depth is concerned, well, that's in the ear of the beholder, isn't it, really?
I guess
so.
So
Someone listening to my songs might think totally differently from what I think the song.
Has there been any songwriters along the way that have really spoken to you, that you come to mind, that you might have incorporated into some of your ideas?
Oh, yeah, well, Tom Springfield, I have to really go back to him because he was such a role model to us all.
Yeah.
But of course, people, the famous ones like Jim Webb and of course the Beatle duo, and I must include, of course, George Harrison now. But they're the ones that I suppose have been in the forefront of my inspiration, and I just try and take it from there without trying to plagiarize or be a copycat.
And so, have you got any young people that are trying to write and come up through now? Have you got any words for them that they might, so they inspire them or let them know?
Yes, I've got a word. It's love. Start with that one and work around it. Okay, but no, my advice to when I'm doing any workshops or anything like that is persistence. Don't give up. And the other one is if you're writing things on paper or wherever you're writing it, don't throw anything away. You never know what you might be throwing away, so don't throw anything away. Persist.
Well, that's good advice. Great advice. And so now, musically, do you feel you've improved any more since the early days studying? I mean, as a musician myself, I've always kept learning and relearning. Do you feel that you've progressed?
I've progressed in mainly in my recording activities, actually, and because of that I feel as though I've progressed musically, because I'm calling on myself to play other instruments and to provide vocal harmonies and things like
lovely.
that. So consequently, I suppose there has been a progression, but whether I've got any better or not is again in the ear of the beholder.
What equipment are you recording on now? Is this a home studio?
Yeah, home studio, computer and Logic Pro, and
so you got.
I just go for it.
You liked all that? Logic Pro, you went for it?
Absolutely.
It's great. You took the learning curve. A lot of people get a bit daunted by it.
Oh no, I'm not daunted. No, in fact, I'm eager to learn. So I'm very hungry to get better at that.
Okay, and so. Yeah, well, I know that's a real bug, and so you actually saved us one night with that power pack. So I know you've got that studio somewhere.
I have. Yeah, that was a funny night, wasn't it? But yeah.
It's a shame we didn't get past the red wine into the studio, but maybe one day.
Next time. It'll have to be next time, Roger.
Yeah, well, it'll be lovely. Mate.
Anyway.
And it is beautiful. That Braidwood studio of yours, and actually the Braidwood Theatre is it going well now? And
beautifully.
You're getting many acts through.
Yes. We're back on the road, pulling in acts there now. And next one we've got is Fred Smith, who won the award for the best solo. I can't remember the actual title, but Fred Smith won a very acclaimed award.
Fantastic.
And he's a wonderful songwriter. He's a diplomat, been in Afghanistan, writing songs about the time that he spent there, and just phenomenal sensitivity in his songs.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And so, you get to see a lot of songwriters then through there, which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Keep
we've
yourself
had quite a few. Yeah, songwriters like Eric Bogle, who who'd be very well aware of. Steve Kilby did a night there, and we had Nikki Gillis came through as well. And
you've sort of sorted yourself out for a lounge room.
Indeed, yeah. Deborah
It's
Conway.
got the perfect situation.
Yeah, Deborah Conway and Willie Zegger.
You got it all going on.
Oh boy, yeah, you name it.
Yeah, wow, exciting. Well, I haven't been there. I know it's wonderful, and I know that I wish you the best with it. And
Thank you.
I'm very excited to hear anything you're doing, and tonight is going to be fantastic.
Thank you.
We're now in for a real treat, and it's one of those music legends that manages to not only have such a beautiful canon of work, but also be one of the nicest guys in the industry. I'm not going to tell you about him. Please welcome to the stage Bernie Howitt to interview the ASA's special guest artist, the Seekers' one and only Keith Potger.
Thanks, Simon. I'd like to call Keith up to the stage, and if you mind coming up now, Keith. One of the problems that Keith presents
Thank you. Thanks, Patrick.
is trying to encapsulate just how important this man is and just how lucky we are to have him here today and what we're going to hear. Normally, I can do an intro in about 30 seconds. Today, it may take a couple of minutes. So, Claire, I'm trying to stay on time. But, it's no problem to say that he's forever linked with the Seekers.
Correct.
A band who went to London in 1964 for 10 weeks.
Correct.
And then...
That's 2 out of 2, folks.
Doing all right.
How you doing?
And then we get to 1965. I'm just going to run through just a couple of things that happened to these guys in 1965. First Australian artist to reach #1 on the British charts with I'll Never Find Another You. And if you sigh right now, and because you're as old as me and you remember it, you know how important that song was. You recorded that in Abbey Road in the Beatles studio.
Yes, well, it was not known as the Beatles studio in those days, but in fact, I can tell you now, Bernie, that we recorded that song and its B-side in those days. A record had a B-side. And we recorded both the song and the B-side in one 3-hour session. So that was quite an honour for us to be able to record it at Abbey Road.
And so then the Beatles wandered in and thought, gee, they can get a #1 with that time. We can knock it out. We might give ourselves 6 hours and then we'll give it 6 days and we'll get better. Well, yeah, it takes time sometimes. But the next song we did, which Tom Springfield wrote for us as well, A World of Our Own, we actually took 2 3-hour sessions for that one. And what about then to finish off 1965 with what is still the 5th biggest selling single of the 60s in Britain, The Carnival Is Over, Tom Springfield again. Yep. How many hours did that take? Well, that was a big recording session. We actually took over the studio when the Beatles were not there. They had kind of colonised the underground studio, which was the orchestral studio at Abbey Road. But while they were not looking, we snuck in there, and Tom Springfield arranged a huge orchestra, and the whistler. Very important to have the whistler.
in there. And with Carnival's over, we had the string orchestra, and we recorded it in about a day, I suppose.
See, that's what happens with fame. You get more and more time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then New Musical Express, a magazine of some repute in the 60s, was looking around for the best new group, and lo and behold, it's you again.
Yeah, we were so lucky. We had that huge hit with I'll Never Find Another You, and we were about to release World of Our Own, and the New Musical Express honoured us with the award of the top best new group, and we were able to perform in the Wembley Arena. The top liners on that occasion were the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, but there was Dusty Springfield, there was Tom Jones, there was the Animals, you name it. It was everyone in the musical universe at that time who was on that stage, and it was a fantastic experience for us.
We probably should check that they've heard of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, shouldn't they? Because
hands up those who have heard. Okay,
because I know you will know the Seekers, but I just sort of check these other British bands that may not be so familiar. So you suddenly found yourselves in what I guess was only a maelstrom of fame. You just suddenly went from 10 weeks sailing over to Britain, just have a look around, play a few shows, to this level of fame, which Australian acts had never achieved.
Well, we were very lucky, Bernie, to have had the benefit of a very hardworking and very creative agent in Eddie Jarrett. Eddie eventually became our manager, and that was from the Grade organisation. So they were getting us gigs that I think a lot of other acts would probably only dream of, and we were really lucky from that point of view. But the other aspect of it was to meet Tom Springfield, and Tom happened to love Judith's voice, as millions of other people do as well, and he wrote some fantastic songs for us. So from that point of view, with Tom becoming pretty much the fifth Seeker in his own way, we had a fantastic organisation behind us. So there were the four of us, but behind us was this amazing crew of people, including Eddie Jarrett and Tom Springfield.
And those people then took you over the next 3 or 4 years too. And I'm just going to summarise just a couple of the things because I couldn't fit them all into the time we've got. But both your singles and your albums have each spent a cumulative 2 years each on the English charts. That's an extraordinary achievement. That's okay. You were nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
You appeared you went to America, suddenly were charting at the top of American charts. You appear on the Ed Sullivan Show. Once again, you're following the path of the Beatles and doing what they can do. This Australian group can do as well. You do a TV special that's still, and I don't know, this is prior to the Matildas changing everything.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
But before the Matildas this year, during this year, the last time it was checked in the middle of the year, you were still in the top 10 highest viewed TV shows ever in the history of this nation with your TV special. You drew 200,000 people to Myer Music Bowl.
Personally.
He was a good-looking guy, yeah. We know why they were there. You were the only group to be given the honour of Australians of the Year. It had to be plural for you.
Yep.
It just goes on, and you broke hearts around the world with your televised farewell special, where the sound of breaking hearts was global.
Well, yeah, I guess that taking up your last point there, Bernie, the thing was that Judith Durham had been a solo singer before she joined Bruce Woodley and Athel and myself to form the Seekers as we're known. But she was hankering after getting back to a solo career. So really the time had come, and we all had this arrangement between ourselves that if any of us wanted to leave the group, that we would give 6 months' notice to the rest of the bunch. And she did exactly that. Well, as it turned out, the BBC had been brought into the secret, shall we say, that the group wanted to disband, or that Judith wanted to go off and recreate her solo career. So they decided to organise this TV special. And it was right at the end of the 4-week season that we had done at the Talk of the Town in London. And so we finished on a Saturday night at the Talk of the Town. On Sunday, we were in the BBC studios and we recorded that, it wasn't a recording, it was live, the Sunday night special where we said farewell as a group.
And that's a nutshell, very quick journey through your career as the Seekers first time round. But the legacy you've left is extraordinary. And I just want to, everybody in the room, and I know there are songwriters galore here, that's what we're here for, and to celebrate. But I don't think you can overestimate the impact the Seekers and the contribution the Seekers have made to Australian popular culture, and the fact that you pushed open, you blazed through so many doors that allowed everybody who has a dream to succeed with music, because they feel something, they want to sing, they want to write. Anybody who feels like that, has ever had that feeling in this room, you owe a debt to Keith Potger. And I don't say that lightly. I've spent my whole career working with the history of music, and I don't say that lightly. You owe this man a huge debt just for what he did in throwing open the doors that enable everybody else to dream. It's extraordinary.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you. And of course, I couldn't have done it without Athol Guy, Bruce Woodley, and the incredible Judith Durham. So thank you very much.
We're so lucky to have the four of you in our lives. I just want to talk about, very quickly, two other aspects of your legacy. You were an incredible group because at a time when it seemed like, if you weren't in the mid-60s, it was a crazy time. And it appeared that generations were splitting apart. Kids like me heard the Beach Boys harmonies and thought, this is magnificent. My parents, drew on folk music and said, I can listen to that. At a time when generations were splitting, you were the true intergenerational band, and I know I could sit down with one act to talk to my dad about music, and that was the Seekers. And don't ever underestimate the role that played. I think in social harmony and social structure, that is a huge gift to families across the country. It really was.
Well, thank you. Yes, and it does actually... thank you. Thank you very much for that appreciation. It's really fascinating that in our concerts we have that generational depth, shall we say. We have the older, the mature, the younger, and the really younger. And it is quite extraordinary to be in a concert and look out at the audience and see that range of age groups. And I've got to say that Elizabeth, my lovely partner, and I had downloaded Stuart Coop's book, and we were listening to it on the way up here. And Stuart said that when he was growing up and he was 11 years of age, he bought Friday on My Mind. And he wanted to play it to his parents. But his parents' record collection consisted of Herb Alpert, various classical music albums, and the Seekers. So it just goes to show that there was that awareness of the group, and it's just exactly what you were saying, that it covered that divide between, let's say, the older people and the younger people.
I thought I had all this organised too, and I'd covered everything. And then last week I was on the Zombies. Oh, I'm getting bad looks from Claire. I'll be really quick. I was on the Zombies new fan club forum, and I was saying that how I had to fly to America to finally see the Zombies because they'd never toured Australia. And an American guy replied and he said, "Oh, that's great that you did that. But gee, I wish I could have done that to see the Seekers. You guys were so lucky. You had the Seekers, and I would have given anything to have seen them live." Now, that's an American, completely anonymous American in 2023 talking about his dream in the 60s to see the Seekers live. Now, if that doesn't say how significant your career is, I don't know what does.
Thank you. Well, to quote a line from The Castle, tell him he's dreaming. No, it's just lovely actually to get that kind of reaction because our records are still being played, thankfully, and whatever happens, happens. And we are really one of the only groups, I think maybe the only group until Judith died last year, that had the original 4 members from that era still performing. We did our concerts right through to 2014. So our fan base is loyal and it's legendary. So thank you, all those fans out there. Thank you from me and from the others.
And I just want to finish. I find it fascinating. In 1970, there was a New Seekers album that you had 2 songs on. In 2004, you produced your first solo album, which is a truly marvellous album, Secrets of the Heart. If you haven't heard it, you really need to hear it. You wrote the whole album, and it's one of those rare albums that a great songwriter can do. It universalises an experience so that when you hear that song, you relate to it. And it becomes part of your life because it's telling your story as a listener as well as obviously your story as a writer. And so from 1970 to 2004, that's a growth and a journey as a songwriter. How did you arrive at that? I know Tom Springfield must have been a huge influence, but how did you get to that stage of writing for yourself so perfectly?
Well, Tom Springfield certainly was my role model. There's no doubt about that. But it took me a long time to follow in his footsteps. And as you said, 2004 was when I released Secrets of the Heart. But I'd been writing for a long time, and I guess the Secrets of the Heart album was the culmination of maybe 8 years of songwriting. And then I kept going, and I'm still writing, folks. And that's one of the lovely things about the music industry is that it can lift you to create. And what I'm in the presence of now is a whole bunch of people who are doing exactly that. They're being lifted by creating music. So from me to you, keep going and don't stop. Just keep creating, and it'll be wonderful for you.
I'm really sorry, Claire, but there is so much in this man's career that needs to be discussed. So thank you very much, Keith Potger. It's been a real honour to have you here tonight to inspire the next generation of songwriters.
Bernie, it's my pleasure. And I might say I'm very honoured to be here as a special guest on this very, very special evening because it's the first one after the whole COVID nonsense. And more power to the arms of everybody who's involved in this, the Burgess clan and everyone else who is involved in producing this amazing event. So thank you very much indeed.
And they've convinced you to play a little bit?
Well, yes, I brought my guitar, so I better do something.
I can see 12 strings over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, Keith Potger.
Thank you. Thank you very much, indeed. And because this is an Australian Songwriters Association event, I'm going to be singing an Australian song. This particular song I wrote in September last year, and just on the road up from our little home in Braidwood today, I was mentioning to my partner Elizabeth that I reckon it was probably September the 21st when I first wrote this song last year, and it was in the wake of Judith Durham's Victorian State Memorial Service, and it occurred to me that there's a lot of time has passed. One of the lovely things about our group is that we kept in touch through all that time. So over 60 years, folks, we were the best of friends. And this is a song that kind of reflects that. It's called Where Have the Years Gone? Where have the years gone? Blown on a wind song, memories cascading, fading in and out of a trance. Save some time for the dance. Time can slip by behind us, find us wondering where have the years gone? Where have the years gone? Day-laden kindness, swallow the sadness. Destiny leading, steaming in and out of a trance. This all happens by chance. Darkness falls and may grieve us, leave us wondering where have the years gone? Where have the years gone? We grow in sunlight, moonbeams drifting downstream. Mountains and rivers, takers and givers, we may discover lovers need a dreamer to dream, help the silent to scream. Change can slip by behind us, find us wondering where have the years gone? 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 Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I was lucky enough as a songwriter to have 4 of my songs accepted for the album that the Seekers recorded in 1996. The album was called Future Road. It's produced by the wonderful Charles Fisher. And we had an interesting time, I must say, recording that. And one of those songs that I co-wrote, actually, became the title track of the Future Road album. And so I'd like to sing that for you now. If I had the power of the people and I ruled the world, after all that I've seen and the places I've been, nothing would be better than to take a chance here or there. Well, it's easy to say, but there may be a way if we stand all the people in one line, paint them all green in the sunshine. Take some chances, find the answers. We may stumble, never crumble. Face tomorrow, everyone, all together, share that load. Write our dreams down, future road. We can write our dreams down, future road. Talking about the power of the people, not a perfect world. We can see through the haze, weapons melting away. Turn them all into a fun ship, floating down the river of friendship. Sail forever, you and I together. We may stumble, never crumble. Face tomorrow, everyone, all together, share that load. Write our dreams down, future road. We can write our dreams down, future road. Melting away, making a change. It's easy to say, but there must be a way. If we stand all the people in one line, take walks in the sunshine, take some chances. Come on, let's find the answers. We may stumble, never crumble. Face tomorrow, everyone, all together, share that load. Write our dreams down, future road. We can write our dreams down, future road. Yeah, we can write our dreams down, future road. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Simon. Do that for a living. Great to see you.
Simon, great to see you too. Thank you.
Keith Potger, ladies and gentlemen.